Today we are going to start with module 3, and module 3 is public key cryptosystems. Public key cryptosystems ഉം private key cryptosystems ഉം തമ്മിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം എന്താണെന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. Asymmetric key cryptosystem and symmetric key cryptosystem. Symmetric key is for private key cryptosystem and asymmetric key is for public key cryptosystem. Okay. ബേസിക് ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ ആണ് പബ്ലിക് കീ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ ഇവിടെ ഞാൻ തരാൻ പോകുന്നത്. അടുത്ത ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമുക്ക് RSA ഒരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള PKC പബ്ലിക് കീ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ സിസ്റ്റം നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, നൗ യു ഓൾ ഹാവ് ഓൾറെഡി സ്റ്റഡീഡ് ദ മാത്തമാറ്റിക്സ് ഫോർ സെക്യൂരിറ്റി. ഓക്കെ, അതിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ആവശ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഈ വീഡിയോയിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അതിൻ്റെ ലിങ്ക് is there in the description box. Okay, if you don't remember Euclidean extended Euclidean algorithm, അതുപോലെ പ്രൈം ഫാക്ടറൈസേഷൻ്റെ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് മെത്തേഡ്സ്, ചൈനീസ് റിമൈൻഡർ തിയറം, അങ്ങനത്തെ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഓർമ്മയില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ആ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഒന്ന് ബ്രഷപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് വേണം ഇതിലേക്ക് വരാൻ. ഓക്കെ, ഇവിടെ ഈ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ വീഡിയോയിൽ യു വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് the information on basic prime factorization using extended Euclidean algorithm. Okay, വേറെ algorithms ഉണ്ട് ആവശ്യമായ രീതിയിൽ. whenever we need a particular method, I will put a brush up video and you can go through it and then see the actual lesson. Okay, so today's first lesson, you can see from your syllabus, is principles of PKC. Okay, പബ്ലിക് കീ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ സിസ്റ്റമാണ് PKC ൻ്റെ ഷോർട്ട് ഫോമും കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. ഈവൻ ദോ പ്രൈവറ്റ് കീ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ സിസ്റ്റം ഇസ് ഓൾസോ PKC, ഹിയർ വെനെവർ വി റെഫർ ടു PKC ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് പബ്ലിക് കീ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ സിസ്റ്റം ദാറ്റ് ഐ മീൻ ബൈ ഇറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, നൗ ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്തങ്ങ് പോകാം. ഓൾറെഡി നമ്മൾ കണ്ടതാണ് സിമെട്രിക് കീ ഓർ പ്രൈവറ്റ് കീ, the sender as well as the receiver of a message shares a secret. Okay, so there is one key which is private to the sender and receiver, which is a secret or a single key cryptography, that is symmetric key cryptography. Okay, and if this key is lost or compromised in any way, then the security of that particular cryptographic algorithm is lost or compromised. Also symmetric കൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് രണ്ട് കൂട്ടർക്കും, both the sender and the receiver or the persons who are sharing the private key have got equal rights. So it is possible using since it is the same key, the receiver can forge a message claiming that it is from the sender, because both keys are the same. There is no way to show who has actually sent the message. Okay, whereas in public key cryptography it is not one key. We have seen this before. It is a combination of a public key and a private key. So there are two keys. Okay, the private key is known only to the owner of that particular key. So if I am sending or if I am a party to PKC, okay, I am using the public key cryptographic system, then I have got both a private key and a public key. My public key will be known to everybody, but my private key will be known only to me. Okay, so in this particular method, both parties are not the same. I cannot forge somebody else's, I cannot sign. See, digital signature is also possible with PKC. All I need to do is, if I want to encrypt and send a message, then I can sign it using my private key. Since my private key is not known to any other parties, nobody else can forge my signature and claim that it is mine. Okay, we're going to look at details, so we'll go through this. PKC is one of the most significant advancements in almost 3,000 years of history of cryptography. And the function, the concept is by using number theory. Okay, so we are using the specialities of number theory to apply safe and secure encryption. encryption and decryption. Okay, now this is not meant to replace the private key crypto systems. Instead, it supports the private key crypto systems, because you will see later that public key cryptography, even though it has got a lot of advantages, it is much slower than private key cryptography. Okay, so it does not replace the symmetric cryptography system. It just supports the symmetric key crypto systems. Okay, now we are going to look at why public key cryptography. One thing I already told you, forging is, to a certain extent we can stop it from happening. So digital signatures is one thing that will help, that supports public key cryptography, a reason for why public key cryptography is important. Then we have got another issue in symmetric key cryptography or private key cryptography, is that the key should be sent to both receiver and the sender in a safe and secure way. If the key is breached or in any way compromised, then the crypto system will not work. Okay, so key distribution is another issue, a key issue in the previous symmetric key crypto systems. So these are the two issues which are addressed by public key cryptography, both key distribution and digital signatures. Okay, and the first in 1976, public key cryptography was made public by the research of Diffie and Hellman, and they have got an algorithm which we will be looking at. Okay, but before this itself, this crypto system or the method was unknown by classified community. It was kept a secret. Okay, so public key cryptography involves, we already know all these things, we have seen all these things, involves two keys, a public key and a private key. Okay, the public key is known by anybody who is party of the public key crypto system, and it can be used to encrypt messages and verify signatures. Okay, so for encrypting a message, if A wants to send a message to B, then B's public key is used to encrypt the message and send it. Okay, now if I get a signed message from A, if B is getting a signed message from A, B can verify that it is from A by using his public key to verify that the private key, the key used for signing, is the correct one. Okay, so both these things, encrypting messages and verifying signatures, can be done using public key. And the private key, it is private. It is known only to the owner of that particular key. And the private key, if a person is encrypting using my public key, then I use my private key to decrypt the message. Okay, also if I want to send a signed document, I use my private key to sign the document. Only then the other party can use my public key to check whether my signature is correct. Okay, now, and this is asymmetric because the person who is using the public key cannot, for encryption or verifying signatures, cannot decrypt the message or create the signature. That is why it is asymmetric. Both parties are not the same. Does not have the same standing as in symmetric key crypto system. Okay. Now this here we have seen many times earlier. The diagrams are important. Please learn them. Okay. Here, this is B. Okay. And this is Alice. B wants to send, Bob wants to send Alice this plain text input. Okay, please see my cursor. Okay, this plain text input is going to be sent by Bob. So what Bob does is, Bob checks his public key ring and he takes Alice's public key, uses that public key with the encryption algorithm. For example, it should be a public key encryption algorithm, so RSA, and it is encrypted, and that cipher text is transmitted to Alice. When Alice gets this cipher text, what Alice does is, Alice decrypts it using Alice's private key and then reads the plain text. Okay. Now, if authentication is being done, that is, the signatures are being verified, then in that case, Bob uses Bob's private key to sign the plain text. So how is the signing done? It's very simple. Same encryption algorithm, but encryption using the Bob's private key and the message. So the input is the plain text and Bob's private key, and that encrypted message is sent as ciphertext to the recipient. Okay, so when Alice gets Bob's signed message, here Alice cannot use Alice's private key because it is a signed message, not an encrypted message. So to check whether it is Bob's signature, what Alice needs to do is take Bob's public key from her public key ring and then again use the same RSA algorithm to decrypt using Bob's public key and the transmitted message X. And then the plain text will be given as output. Okay, so here two things are done, both encryption as well as decryption as well as signature. Okay. Now this is for authenticating whether the message sent is from the party who is claiming to send it. So Bob is the one who is claiming to send this message to Alice. Alice is checking whether it is actually Bob. That is possible using this public key authentication system. Okay. Now if I want both authentication and secrecy, if I want both authentication and secrecy, it's simple. Look at this over here. Okay, when A is sending the message, first A signs the message. Look over here. Okay, E PR of A comma X. Okay, so the message X here, you can see over here, the message X is first signed using PR of A, and then that signed message is encrypted using the public key of B, and then the data is sent to the destination. Z is the data that has been signed as well as encrypted. Okay, so you can see first Bob has used A has used his private key to encrypt, to sign the message, and that signed message is then encrypted using the public key of B, and Z is sent to the destination. At the destination, again the decryption has to be done to first decrypt the original message Z with the private key of B. This over here, the private key of A is used to encrypt the message. So first we have to use the public key of A to decrypt the message, and then the encryption will be used. So over here, if you can see, Z is first decrypted using the private key of B, because the second, that is right now what you have is encrypted message using the public key of B. So first decrypt it using the private key of B, and then after it has been decrypted using the private key of B, we will use again the decryption algorithm with the public key of A to check the signature of the message, and then that output will be the original output. So the first thing that needs to be done is Z has to be decrypted using PU of A, and that decrypted message is then decrypted using the private key. First the Z has to be decrypted using the private key of B, and then that message will be decrypted using the public key of A. Okay. Okay, so remember this diagram. This diagram is important for showing how authentication and secrecy can be maintained using public key cryptography. Okay. Now, what are the applications? We saw already. One is secrecy, the other is authentication, and then the same public key application can be sent using key exchange, that is encryption and decryption itself can be used in a key exchange format. Small blocks of data can be sent using the session keys. Okay. Now, some of the PKC algorithms, we will be looking at different I think 2 or 3 we'll be looking at. So some of the algorithms can do all of these 3, others can do a few, some of them. Okay. Now what is the security of public key schemes? One, since large key values are used, the brute force algorithm, even though theoretically it is possible, in reality an exhaustive search is not practical. Okay, and normally always the key size are large number of bits, greater than 512 bits. So that is why this private key becomes difficult. Brute force of that is used with private key schemes is difficult. Okay. Now the security is the security is maintained in such a way that the encryption and the decryption should be easy, because we need to do those algorithms. But at the same time, if somebody tries to do a cryptanalysis, then it must become a hard problem. So the security relies on a large enough difference in the difficulty. There should be a large enough difference in the difficulty of doing easy encryption decryption and hard cryptanalysis. Okay. In general, hard problems, it doesn't mean that there is no solution to this problem. What it means is that it is impractical to actually implement the solution. Okay. So those are hard problems, and this normally is accomplished by using very large numbers. But because of this requirement of having easy encryption decryption with very large numbers itself, normally the PKC methods are slower compared to private key schemes. Okay, and with this we have completed security of public key schemes. 1 second. RSA we will be doing in the next class. Hope you have understood the concepts. We have just repeated things which we have already learned earlier. For any doubts, please feel free to contact me, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.